Hey guys, it's me, Maddie. I've been seeing a lot of people that have been getting pregnant lately, and they are very scared, they don't know what to do, so I kind of just wanted to make a video and say that it's going to be okay. It might not seem like it, but it really will be. And I just kind of wanted to talk about my story and show you that there are a lot of tough things to go through, but it will be okay. So when you're like 15, 16, 14 even, you go through a very rebellious stage, and not a lot of people want to admit that, but it's true. I was in that stage. I was sneaking out, smoking, doing all these things, and this guy texted me, and I was like, oh my god, like, everyone in town knows this guy. He's so cool, like, popular. Let's try it, you know? So we were talking for a couple months, and we got together. We were together for about 2 years. It was a very toxic, abusive relationship, but he was my first love, so I didn't want to admit it, and I wanted to stay in it. So, he cheated a lot. A lot of things he did I'm not going to say on camera. I won't say his name either because legal reasons. But I finally drew a straw, and I was like, okay, you treat me better or leave. I'm not doing it anymore. And he didn't think I would actually leave, so I was like, okay, come get your stuff from my house and leave, because at the time he lived with me. So that was that, and I was on suicide watch after we broke up. I was severely depressed. He drained me mentally every day, made me feel like I was not good enough. I lost 30 pounds in like 2 months because I was so depressed. I didn't eat. I cried all day, every day, even at school. I would leave class. I wouldn't eat in the cafeteria. I would just go sit in the bathroom and cry every single day. So we broke up, and I was severely depressed already. I didn't want to take my meds, and it just got really bad. So my mom was staying home a couple days, and she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna invite my friend over, and you, me, and her are gonna go out. We're gonna go get something to eat. We're gonna go do something. You gotta get out of the house. Like, she didn't want to leave me alone at the house because she was so scared that I would do something, and it's a good thing she didn't, because I guarantee at the time I would have. So we got out, and I was like, man, my boobs really hurt, like, and I missed my period. I've never had a late period in my life, and I missed this one. So she was like, you know what, you're under a lot of stress, you're sad, you're probably just under stress, and your body's reacting to that, and you're not having it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So the next day I was like, I've had to pee like every 20 minutes. So she was like, okay, well, is there any chance you may be pregnant? Because I don't think you are. I think it's just the stress, and you're drinking more now. And I was like, well, I want to get a test to be sure. And my sister has had a kid already, so I asked her, like, when's the best time to take a test? And she said the next morning, because it's very potent, so, like, it'll be the most accurate in the morning. So I waited till that morning. We got the test, obviously, and I was pregnant. And I was so excited, because this was like something I could actually look forward to after being so depressed for 2 years. It's something I could just be happy about, but at the same time I was so scared. I didn't know how my mom would react, didn't know how the dad would react, didn't know how anyone would react. So I told my mom. She thought it was a joke at first, and I was like, it's not. Here's a picture of the test, like, I am pregnant. I don't know what you want to do about it, but I am. So she made me a doctor's appointment to go get an actual test done, and she picked me up from school. That was kind of that. I was pregnant. My due date was December 21st, and even the doctor was like, so what are you going to do with this kid? Obviously, I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to get rid of it. Okay, well, you need to explore all of your options. And at which point I was like, okay, well, I don't like how you're talking to me, and like I just said, I'm gonna keep it. I don't care about my options. Because I laid down in a bed without protection with some guy. I have to face those consequences to my actions. I can't just say, oh, well, I did this, it was something stupid, let me get an abortion. I'm not against abortions, but it's just not me, and I kind of just explained why. So I called him. I was like, hey, we're pregnant. I don't know what you want to do, but like, we're pregnant. He was like, okay, well, I'll give you money right now to go get the abortion. I'm not having a kid, and neither are you. I was like, okay, well, you don't have to be in the life, but I'm going to. This is my kid. I'm not leaving her. So he hung up and made a big deal with his friends because he was with them at the time, and I was with mine. So he called me back like 20 minutes later and was like, I already feel a connection to this kid. Like, I'm keeping it. You have to keep it. You can't get rid of it, Maddie. Like, this is our kid. So I was like, whatever. Mind you, he's very bipolar, so during the whole pregnancy it was very hard. Every day. So that was that. And then the whole 9 months, I had the easiest pregnancy in the world except with the father. He was rude all the time. He would get super drunk and go out to these parties and get wasted and just text me and be so rude. Say that I'm such a slut for doing this, which I never cheated. We laid down numerous times and he was always the one that cheated. I was such a slut for doing this. I'm not picking the name, he is. He's taking the kid away from me. We're gonna go to court over it. So that was how that went. Then COVID hit. I couldn't work because I was pregnant. I worked up until the last 2 weeks before I had my baby. I got a job. I worked 2 weeks until I had my daughter. She's actually 1 today, so obviously you could see that I struggled, but we made it through. We maintained by ourselves. I had her. I begged him to come to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 3 days because she was so stubborn, but they couldn't send me home. And he was like, well, if you're not having the kid, why am I sitting in this room being bored? What's the point? What's the fun for me in that? At which point I was like, okay, then don't come. Clearly this is how it's gonna be when she's born, so don't come. I know your true colors now. I know that you're gonna go back and forth, but I'm not doing this to her. You're not gonna pop in and out of her life. So he showed up at like 11 that night, wrote down a fake name because he didn't want anyone to know he was there. And I was in such bad pain. They had to give me pills and shots to make me go to sleep because I was so exhausted. I was falling asleep eating crackers, but then another contraction would hit, so I couldn't sleep. So I finally got to sleep on whatever they gave me. I think it was morphine, but I finally got to sleep, and he woke me up at 3 a.m. and said, I'm gonna go get some food from the cafeteria. So I was like, okay, whatever, you do that, I'll see you in a minute. I couldn't go back to sleep, obviously. I was in so much pain, so 15 minutes passed, I'm still waiting for him. 30 minutes passed, I'm still waiting for him. An hour passes, and I was like, okay, I'm not waiting any longer, like, what the fuck, you know? I check his map and his story, and he is driving around Kalamazoo getting high with his friends while I'm sitting in the hospital in severe pain. So, and then I told him, I was like, hey, they're breaking my water, like, I'm having her now. Are you coming or no? Oh yeah, I'll be there, like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I'll be there. Okay. They break my water, it didn't work, so I had to wait for them to break it again, but they gave me more medicine to sleep. So it was like 7 hours before he got there. He missed her birth. His family showed up before he did. So he held her for like 10 minutes and then left again. And she was my world already. Like, obviously I said that, but I already knew that this was my light in all the fucking darkness that was going on around me. So I had her. I graduated school a year early. I'm enrolled in college. I still have a job right now. We're buying our own house in 5 months because I've saved up all my money to do this. Obviously, I had so many people that were so mean to me. My family was even mean to me. Even the people who had kids earlier than I did were so mean to me and basically tried to force my mom to make me have an abortion, and my mom was like, no, just because you did that when you got too young doesn't mean she's going to. So my aunt would show up to these parties that were for me. She showed up to her birthday party and wouldn't say a word to me until a couple months ago. So that was kind of that, and obviously he lied to all of his friends about me. His friends would slide up on my story and be like, if he's not in the life, you're not gonna make it. You don't have shit. You don't pay rent. You don't have a house. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. You're gonna drop out of school. You're gonna be a failure. Like, what are you gonna do? I paid rent. I pay rent where I live right now. I had a job the whole time. Obviously, I don't have my own place. I'm not 17, or not 17, I'm not 18 yet. I just turned 16. Do you want me to move out of 16 by myself? Because I don't think my mom would accept that. All these mean comments. And I have a 1-year-old now. I'm graduated. I'm in college. Like, I have 3 more months left of college and I'm done. And I did it all by myself. Obviously, my family was supportive, but when it came down to it, they would go to bed. I'd be the one staying up with her because it's my kid. No one helped raise her besides me. And I know it's a struggle. I know there's days you just want to say, I give up, somebody come take her, but you can't do that. Like they say, just lay the baby down somewhere safe and walk away for a couple minutes. She will be okay. Sorry, I'm saying she, I'm just used to it because I have a daughter. The baby will be okay, and walk back in calm so you don't harm your baby. And I know people don't want to admit that they might do that, but it does happen. There are a lot of kids that have SBS, a lot of kids that have been dropped. There's stories all over the news all the time about people who get boyfriends and think they're so sweet and they harm their babies all the time because they're just too much. It's very fucking hard. Trust me, I know it is. I was very young. I had those days where I was just like, I don't want to take care of a kid. I want to go out with my friends, but you can't do that. You have a responsibility, and if you don't want to do that, you want to get an abortion, you want to give it up for adoption, that's fine. But it's just kind of like, it will be okay, and your family might not be supportive, but I'm sure you have friends and people all around you that will love you and this baby so much. I'm one of those people. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube, so a lot of you probably don't know me. I'm just a teenager from Michigan, so. But I'm always here. I can leave my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Facebook in the comments, or however you do this. This is my first video, so I'm not really sure how to do all this, but I can leave those there. I would just leave my number, but there are a lot of creeps in the world, so I don't want them to have my number. So, but this was just kind of like, okay, kind of giving you my story, because I know people's stories are worse than mine, and you might have family that will kick you out, but you always have to find a positive and keep going for your baby. It will all work out. And I know people get so sick of hearing, well, it'll be fine soon. Because if I was one of those people, like, I was depressed for 2 years. It wasn't fine any of that time until I found her. So it does get better with time. I know you want it to be better the next day, but it doesn't work like that. The world is not fair. But that's kind of all I have for now. I could do a story time on my aunt. If you guys want that, I could do a story time on the actual father. I still will not say his name for legal reasons, but I could do all that for you. Kind of just to explain that we all have rough childhoods, or most of us do. Childhoods, I don't know why I said it like that. But you can just grow out of it and keep going instead of just falling into whatever childhood you went through. All the trauma, you know? trust me, I've had a lot. I did not live an easy life when I was younger, and my mom got clean. She's been 7 years clean. I can do a story time on that too, but we live in this house now. We have for 7 years. She got her shit together, and now we're all good. So, I know this is my first video, but if you want to leave a like and subscribe or something, because I'm very nervous about posting this, because I don't have a lot of support on this type of stuff. I have a couple people, but just let me know. And I hope you guys all have a good day, and that this helped a little bit. And again, my messages, my DMs are always open. Text me anytime, like, if you need help with your baby, if something's not going right or you have any questions, I'm right here. I'm not a doctor, but I have went through a lot with her. She's had to go to the doctors a couple times for a couple different reasons, but I'm always here. My doors are always open. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and stay tuned for whatever's next.